Hey YouTube, it's Tech Savvy Solution, and I'm here with a video review of iOS 7 on the new iPhone 5C. So you can see I have it in green, but we're not going to look at the exterior of this phone, we're going to look at the software and just take a look at everything that iOS 7 has to offer. I've done a couple of mini teases on what goes on in iOS 7, some brief looks, but I'm actually going to go through all of the applications that are included with the iPhone and see how the new UI functions, how it looks, and how the interface differs from the previous iOS. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so before I dive into each individual application, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the hallmark features of iOS 7. First one being the new organized notification bar. So you've seen this notification bar in the previous version of iOS 7, or iOS that is, but now we have a new notification bar that is organized into 3 different tabs. So you have everything that's going on today. I don't have any events on the calendar right now, but you have that, and then you have your stocks, and then you have stuff that's going on for tomorrow. And then you can view all of your notifications, which I don't have right now, and then all the stuff that you missed. So that's a pretty cool feature. The next feature is just you swipe up to get to your quick toggles. So you have toggles for airplane mode, Wi-Fi, turning on and off Bluetooth, the do not disturb mode, and the portrait orientation lock. And I think that's really handy. I always love reading news articles in my bed and just having to hold the phone in different orientations. I don't want it to always switch from portrait to landscape mode. So it's nice to have that quick toggle right there. You also have a toggle for your brightness, and then one for your music player, and then the volume for it as well. And then also one for AirDrop, which is iOS's new way of just sharing files between iOS devices, and it's really easy thing to do if you have 2 people with an iOS device. Also on the bottom you have flashlight shortcut, and it's not even a separate application. You just hit the button and then a light pops up. And then you also have a shortcut that takes you to the timer application, which is quite useful. And then you have a calculator shortcut, which we'll go more in depth into. And then my favorite one is the camera button. I know that there's a camera right there, the icon on the screen, but it's nice to be like, oh, I'm browsing the web, but oh my gosh, I need to take a picture of this thing. And it's just nice to have that right there when you need it. And then the third thing that I want to go over, the third thing that's new in iOS 7 is this new multitasking interface. So you can double tap, and it takes me to just a whole slew of screenshots of all the applications that are running currently. And it's a nice way to look at your applications. It's based off of the Palm WebOS operating system. And that was pretty redundant, OS operating system. Anyways, it's just a nice way to look at all your applications. And if you don't want it, if you don't want the application to be open in the background, you want to clear up some RAM on your phone, oops, failing at this, you just swipe up like so, and it gets rid of the application, and you can free up some RAM and make your phone run faster. But again, the 5C is already a really good performer, and speed is really not something that people should be worrying about with this phone. Everything's really smooth, and yeah. So I think this is a pretty cool thing. If you want to go to, let's say, the timer, you just hit on that and it takes you right to the application. Okay, so now that we've covered just the main 3 things of iOS 7, let's go through each individual application so I can take a look at, how the UI functions and the new sort of feel that iOS 7 has going for it. So the first application is going to be Messages, and it's pretty standard stuff that you're used to. If we want to go ahead and create a new message, you notice that the keyboard is now in a lighter type of feel. It's always, been this type of color scheme, but now everything is just a lot more flat, a lot more simple looking, and types pretty well. Let's go ahead and, I don't know, just type hello. I'm sending it to a person named Hello, just kidding, but there you go. And then of course this is your main body of the message. You can also take a picture and send it, but it's your usual stuff. The next application is going to be your calendar, And this is, the calendar application is always something I love to explore, not because I'm a calendar freak or anything, but it's interesting to see how different operating systems handle something like the calendar application, where you have the potential for it to be something that's super cluttered because you have all these individual events, but Apple does a good job of making it seem really minimalistic. You just have, all the way from the entire year, from January to December, and you just can scroll to the calendar like that, and then the dot says this is today. And let's say we want to go ahead and add a event. So I'm going to say it's 7 new events. I'm going to say I have performance at Smith Hall. So we can do that. And then set alerts. You can invite people on your contacts. And then set it as an all-day event if you want. I'm going to perform all day. Then let's see if we can edit this. There we go. Let's edit. And we can turn that off. Say concert starts at 7. And there you go. And you can see it's set under my tech-savvy solution Gmail. So there you go. And then we can also look at not just the day view, but you can see that we can scroll from week to week like so. If we go back to the month, you can see my event is just indicated by a small dot. It's a really nice interface to look at. You can just see all the calendars that you have. You can show or hide them. Go to your inbox for any new invitations. We saw that earlier when we were editing that event. And then of course you can see the calendars for the entire year, all of the months. So in my conclusion for this, it's a really nice looking application, and I think iOS does a great job of making your day and your schedule look not as hectic as it might otherwise be in reality. Alright, so the next application is going to be Photos. Let's go ahead and open that up. So you can see Apple has organized your photos into what they call collections. So you have collections based off of years, and then it goes to the day or the date that you've taken the photos. So I took all these photos today, and let's just go ahead and take a look at these, not in detail, but just so I can show you just like the layout of the application, because once we go onto the camera application, we can actually take a look at what quality of photos this iPhone 5C takes. So it's a pretty neat interface. Let's just look at the Panda here. You have your typical pinch to zoom, really sensitive, and then you can also share your photos, and then you can also see your photos organized into different albums. So we have the camera roll, the videos, and then when you load your own photos or sync the photos through your computer, you can see more different types of albums. So that's just a brief look at that application. Alright, so next we have our photo application, and this bobblehead will stay still. I'll go ahead and demonstrate the typical afternoon taking photos. And it's really simple, literally. Just press a button and it takes a shot fairly quickly. You have different crop settings, so you have your normal setting for just photo, and then if you swipe to the left, you can get to your square setting for Instagram type photos. And then lastly, you have your panoramic setting. And it's pretty simple. You just hit the button again, and then you follow the directions, which is move the iPhone literally like this, continuously to where the arrow is pointing, and then you get your panoramic shot. You can also take it in landscape mode or portrait mode. Okay, so in terms of the quality of the shots that this camera takes, it's actually really good, and I'm really not surprised because Apple is usually on top of their game in the camera department. So first, let's take a look at this Panda that I've taken a picture of. It was done in fluorescent lighting, so really not the best type of lighting to take pictures in, but the detail is pretty good. You can see all the hairs and the fur and the stuff, and yeah. Moving on, we have a picture of the squirrel. This is also done on a cloudy day today, and I mean, despite on non-ideal lighting conditions, you have a good snapshot of this moving animal. It's pretty cool. And next we have a video of this moving animal, just really briefly. And you can see on the top that you have video stills and kind of like a summary of the entire video on top. So if you want to scrobble through a specific part of the video, you can. Let's go ahead and just play this. See if we can get this to rotate this way so you can see better. So here's a squirrel, plenty of detail. Not the most ideal lighting conditions, but it's pretty good job in capturing the video. So now we're back in portrait mode, and then just a view around the apartment area. And then here's a view down into the bike rack. Plenty of detail, and again, this is, you know, just a cloudy day, but I'm overall really satisfied with the way this camera performs. We have some indoor shots of the studio. Again, good detail. And then there's that shot again, and here's a really close-up shot. It's a shot of, let's go here, this little project that I did many years ago for fun. It's cool. And you know, you can zoom in here and just, oh my gosh, I don't know if it's picking it up on the camera, but the way that Apple is able to capture details of photos. This is done with the HDR on, so the color balance is going to be better. So this is the, HDR image, and it's the non-HDR, so you can see the difference there. So really good job with that. And then of course I have photos of gum, I don't know why, just some close-up shots. And then the shots that we took earlier. So there's that, there's the camera. I'm always really impressed with how Apple devices and their cameras perform in bad lighting conditions. But alright, let's go ahead and move on to the weather application. So I'm going to say cancel. And what's really cool about the new weather application is that you don't have these cards anymore. You have the entire screen, and it's kind of taking a hint from HTC Sense in that you have the weather conditions just, you know, projected out there as a live wallpaper, and it really gives an immersive experience. So you have like cloudy, and you have cloudy over there, and mostly cloudy, and there's actually a difference between cloudy and mostly cloudy. And here we have just forecast for the week. We have forecast for today. And then again, just really, forecast for the week is here, sorry. And then we have forecast by the hour on the top, and we can just scroll through it like this. So you know that, you know, by the evening, if you're going to be staying out, you're going to want a jacket because it's going to be quite cold. Jacket weather. And then here, oh, it's not going to start raining really until 7 p.m. And then you can go ahead and add a city. So let's add Urbana, Illinois. Take a look at the weather there. And as I had said before, it is mostly cloudy. I don't know why like mostly cloudy is not as cloudy as cloudy, but those are just the minor details. So it's pretty easy to add a location, as you've seen. If we tap on the Yahoo button, it takes us to the Yahoo website for a more detailed look at the weather forecast. Next we have the clock application, or timer app. So we have, it's really basic, really minimalistic. You have a timer you can set for pretty much any amount of time. You can set the ringtone. And then you have stopwatch, start, lap, stop, an alarm that you can set. And then you can choose a sound, of course. You can choose labels like, you have homework to do, wake up. Or, you know, if you can allow yourself to snooze the alarm, stuff like that. And then you just hit the toggle to turn it on or off. And then we have the world clock. You can add different times, so if you're traveling a lot, you want to keep track of what time it's going to be when you're at your next destination, you can. And again, it's a really nice, clean interface. As much as I don't like to, give comparisons, Apple versus Google and stuff, because that's like really cliche. I do have to say this really kind of looks like the UI that Google is going for. And yeah, I mean, if I were to just take you to gmail.com or something, let me go ahead and pull up Safari. I can show you that the UI is quite similar. So, Google here. So look at this. It's all, you have this type of, it's not like a harsh edge, but it's more of a plain type. So you have to use just simple polygons, and you have this gray background punctuated by little, bursts of color in the applications, much like how Apple is trying to go for in its UI, and you can even see that in the Safari browser here. Alright, next we have our Maps application. And it's nothing special, but as you can see, it loads pretty quickly. I mean, the iPhone 5C is basically the same processor speed of the iPhone 5, which was really fast. So, I'm gonna zoom into Chicago. And too bad we can't, here we go. Get this type of angle to look at the different places that you want to go to. University Center, Dairy Queen. We have Roosevelt University, there we go, we have our 3D buildings. And it's, it's nice if you're walking around the city and you want to get someplace and you're like, yeah, I can see the street names, but I just want to know the feel of where I am, just the landmarks I can see. And then if you see the 3D landscape of where you are, you can see that, I'm next to this like super tall building. I don't know what it's called, but I see it on my map. It really takes looking at maps in a new direction. It's really, really quite nice. And especially with the power and the processing speed of the iPhone 5C and the iPhone 5, really is a great experience to have for your phone. Ooh, 3D. That's pretty cool. See. Okay, so next we have videos, and I don't have any content right now, so it's gonna say, hey, let's go to the store. So that'll take you to the next app that I'm going to be looking at, and that is our iTunes app. So this is just your hub of where you want to get anything you want for your iOS device. You have videos, like what I just said, and then you have your music, you have movies, TV shows, just everything that you would want for your device, minus the apps, because you have an app store for that. So with this application, it's a really nice presentation. You have the featured stuff on top, and then you have different categories of movies that you can go ahead and browse through. You look at the charts and see which movies are on the top. And go to TV shows. And I'm really liking the look of this. It's a contrast to the light feel that we've been seeing so far in the rest of iOS 7. And now we have kind of like an inverted color scheme where it's all black, and now you have this really nice cyan color as your accent color. And you also have some free content. We have free season premieres, so if you like what you see, you can buy the rest of it. And then we have music, which is, again, the same format, and you're going to see this type of thing in the App Store as well. So just swipes like that, and it's really a nice interface. I'm really a fan. And again, like your downloads, stuff that Genius recommends, audiobooks, and stuff. Did I mention ringtones? It's pretty cool. They have an app store for ringtones. Alright, so speaking of apps, let's take a look at the App Store. So the App Store, again, is just formatted really similar to the iTunes App Store, or the iTunes Store. And you have, again, your featured stuff on top, It's a really nice poster style. And then you have your best new apps, and you can scroll through them, browse through them like this, like you had seen before. And then best new games, stuff that's designed for iOS 7. Apple Store app. There's like an app store for everything. Like there's an app for that and an app store for that. It's really quite fascinating. And then let's see. We have categories and tons of different types of apps. I mean, the App Store has been going on for years. So it's one of the first and one of the best of its kind. So it's really, really well developed. And I don't know if you just caught that, but see that little like swipe in the background? See if we can catch it again. There we go. You can see that, right? So the background of this is slightly translucent. So again, drawing back to the UI of iOS 7, you have this concept of planes. We're on another plane on top of what's already going on. So what's been going on was, again, the interface of the App Store. Now we have the App Store categories, but you can still see faintly what's going on the bottom. It's really quite cool. So let's say we want to go to games. We have games, and I want role-playing games. You can see that you can browse through them like this again. It's really nice. And let's say I want, I don't want that one. Not cool enough. I want Dungeon Finder. So let's say, oh my gosh, I don't have $1 on me. I really can't buy it. I really wish I had it though. You can add it onto your wish list. So you just tap that button over there, which is like, oh, I can share it on Facebook or Twitter or anything, but you can also add it to your wish list like that. Other options include copying the link, gift. So you can send it to someone. Let's just say I want to send it to my friend who really wants Dungeon Finder. You could do that too. And then if you tap on this button, you have a list of the apps that you really like, so or really are wishing for. So that's pretty much, just the gist of the App Store. Let's go through really quickly. You have top charts, you have the stuff that's near me, and then updates that need to be downloaded. So when you go ahead and download or install an app, it's going to look something like this. So you can now have like tons of apps that are in queue for downloading, and then instead of having that loading bar on the bottom, you now have the circle, which tells you the progress in which the app is being downloaded and installed onto your phone. But now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next application, which is Notes. And Notes also got redefined. I played flute. I do play flute. So now instead of having that kind of cheap looking, oh, I have a notepad in the background, that type of wallpaper, you have a plain, nice blank wallpaper where, again, going for the minimalistic style, you can type up your notes. So I play flute. It is the best instrument. So say done. Back to your notes. And yeah, there you go. It's again really simple to use, and I'm really digging the style because it's really clean now. That's about it for next. We have reminders, which is if you had been keeping up with the new Google apps. Google has this Google Keep application, and now we have reminders application for iOS. So let's say reminders is a list, and you can create other lists like let's go grocery shopping list. So you add stuff, like first you choose a color. Oops, that's added. So you can choose the color of your list. I'm gonna make it red. And then let's go ahead and add some stuff. So concert next, this Thursday. Then go ahead and tap on the eye icon, and you can set a reminder for it. You can remind me when I'm actually at that location. It's really cool. And add notes, add priority levels. And then you tap the circle to say, hey, I'm done with this concert played. So just an example of adding a new list, choose a color, and I'm really liking this style. It's nice and cute, it's really simple. That's it, we're going grocery shopping. So you have a grocery list. Done. And you just tap to add an item. So I need milk. You press enter for a new line. I need Oreos. Because milk and Oreos is the best. And that's pretty much it. Really simple. And then you look on the bottom. Here you have access to your other lists. So it's really easy to switch between different lists and stuff that you have to do. We tap on this and it takes you to the stuff that's scheduled for today. Any alarms, any reminders. You can also search for your list or for your stuff. So I'm going to search for concert and there you go, pops up. So it's a really nice, simple application. I am a fan. Next, we have the stocks application. It's similar to what we had before, but now we have a different UI to it. So it's just all black and gray. It's really simple to use again. And let's take a look at the chart. Mark it as closed, but let's wait for that. Let's take a look at this one. And then you can add different stocks if you wanted to. Search for company name. So let's just say Nintendo. Search. And there you go. It's really easy to add different stocks to your list. Go to Yahoo. Yahoo seems to be the source of everything in iOS. And then, of course, you have a more detailed look at your stock. Onto the Game Center. New redesigned icon, quite different from before. And you have this little like bubble interface, pretty cute. So, hey, I'm Text Hobby Solution, can add a photo. I'm gonna choose a photo. Who do I want to be the face of my character? I want this panda to be the face of my character. There you go. So hey, Text Hobby Solution, the panda. 2 games shows you what you're going to apply this to. Apply your Game Center application to. And yeah, I have Bejeweled as one of them. I have no friends. As you can see, I don't game too often on this phone or on iOS. But anyways, that's just a look at what it is. You can enter a status, say, hey, come on. I'm wondering what happened to the photo I just added. What? There we go. Yay. So I'm happy now. I have my panda. Panda says game on. So that's a look at the Game Center application. Alright, next we have Newsstand, another one of my favorite applications. Because you have, all these books, all these magazines right on this phone in this small footprint and all right on this application. So I don't know if it's done loading yet, but I downloaded The Economist. So we're just gonna have to wait for this to be done. But let's take a look at what we can download. So this takes us to the App Store, but the App Store for Newsstand. And you can see I just downloaded this, Economist for iPhone. And it's loading because I have a whole slew of other apps that are waiting to be downloaded. And you can just browse through all the stuff that you can read and download on your phone. You have things like Natural Geographic, you have The Economist, you have so many big name magazines, all right on your phone. Okay, so we have The Economist loaded up. Let's take a look at how this looks like. Okay, I'm going to continue to free editor's picks because I don't have an account. Let's take a look at this. Read editor's picks. Alright, so let's look at this. So you have these articles from The Economist, which is a great magazine, recommended, and just, it's really simple. I mean, I'm surprised at the interface and how easy it is to read through things. You swipe for the next page. Oops. And I just got to the end of the free content. But if you are already an Economist subscriber, this is perfect. You can read while you're on the go, while you're on the train, if you're waiting, online or something, and you just want to catch up on the latest article. This application is for you. So go back, library, oops, and you can swipe through different articles, and it's really cool. And then pressing home actually doesn't take you to the home screen. It takes you back to your newsstand. And you can jump to the next magazine of your choice. But we're gonna go home. Okay, our next application is Passbook. So Passbook is basically, think of it as an electronic wallet. So instead of having all of your, your paper train tickets, physical train tickets, or movie tickets, or gift cards and stuff all in this big wallet, you have it right on your phone. So you can either scan these codes to put it on this application, or you can look at the various apps, various companies like Starbucks and Amtrak that are compatible with this phone. I mean, or with this application. You can even store your airline tickets onto your phone, so that when you have to go through the check-in and when you're gonna get on the plane, you can just, casually swipe your iPhone and be like, hey, yo, I got my ticket on this phone, and not be one of those stereotypical travelers who's just like digging for their ticket and through their pockets and stuff. It's a trendy way to keep all of your stuff organized. So that being said, you can just choose from all these different apps, all these different companies to have your coupons and your gift cards and your tickets on this application. It's really quite neat. Next we have the Compass app. And it's on a flat surface, so I'm going to hit calibrate. So, and roll all the way around. And there you go. You have your compass calibrated. Next application is going to be your Contacts app. I don't have any contacts, no friends. But here I'm going to show you how to add a contact. So again, a really minimalistic feel. You have first name, last name. So I'm going to say John Doe. And you can add a photo. Let's go ahead and choose a photo from here. This is going to be John. He has one eye. And add a phone number. It's really easy. Add email and all these different fields that you can add for this. Add some notes. John Doe is creepy. And be done. So I have John Doe. And I could give John Doe a call if I wanted to, or FaceTime him. But I have to keep a note that he is creepy, so you might not want to talk to him too often. I don't know. Anyways, that's just a demonstration of how to create contacts on this application. Pretty neat. I'm really digging the minimalistic view again. Alright, I'm gonna go to calculator, but first, if you didn't catch that before, just take another look when I hit on the folder application, or on the folder, which is an application, but look. Do you see how the wallpaper just kind of zoomed in to where the folder was? Just went like that one more time. pretty awesome. I'm liking the subtleties of the UI. So let's take a look at the calculator. Pretty simple stuff. You can have it in portrait or landscape mode. Landscape mode yields more, let's say, complicated functions. You have your scientific calculator in landscape mode, your simple calculator in portrait mode, and it does the job. There you go. Next we have our voice memos, and again, it's like it is pretty completely new application. I don't know if you remember from before, but we had this, you know, microphone in the background, being like, oh, I have a microphone on my phone. But here, let's go ahead and start recording. We have, you can see like a sonograph of your voice and everything that's going on in the recording, and it's really quite cool. It looks high tech, but again, really simple. Say done. And then you name it. I'm gonna say awesome recording. And you can delete it, obviously. Oops. And you can play it. You can share it if you really wanted to, through AirDrop or text message or mail. Scrabble through it like this. You can edit it. That's pretty cool. You can trim a section. You can save this new recording. It's a copy of my awesome recording. And yeah, it's really quite a new change. Oops, done from the old application. I'm really liking that. Alright, so our next application is going to be the phone application. But before I go ahead and take a look at it, I want you to notice just the wallpaper first. And you're like, what? Why? I want to see the phone. But you'll see. So at the bottom you notice there's this really nice blue color. It's light blue. And then on the top we have this grayish white accent color. Now look at the phone and the dial pad. Again, Apple is based on subtlety, so you have the blues on the bottom and there's a gradient up to the grays on the top, and it mimics the layout of the wallpaper, which I think is really quite fascinating. Let's go back to change our wallpaper. Let's go to settings really quickly and wallpaper, and let's change the wallpaper here. Let's go to stills and choose like a really bright color or something. Let's choose this. I'm gonna set just the home screen. Okay, so we're done with that. Let's go back to our phone and I'll take a look at it. It mimics what is going on in the home screen. I don't know if you can see it, but it's really close. You can see the different colors displayed in the dial pad. So briefly, favorites, your recent contacts, your contacts, and your keypad. And then of course you have a shortcut for your voicemail. It's pretty simple. You just tap. I want to add that to my contacts, please. And it's really simple. So we're gonna add that to John Doe. He has another phone number. So yeah, it's his home phone number. So that is the phone application. Next we have our mail application. And it's pretty standard. The only actual difference would be that it has a new UI, but otherwise the features are about the same. So let's just take a look at one of my emails. Oh, Danny Winget is now following me on Google+. You guys should too! So, I mean, you can pinch to zoom and stuff. It's pretty standard. And then here we can flag mark as in red. You can move it to a different folder, organize your mail like so. And then we can archive it. No. You can reply. You can even print. Isn't that pretty cool? And then here is sending a new message. If we go to our mailboxes, It's just you have your standard folders, having your Gmail, VIP. It's nice. I'm gonna add John Doe, but he doesn't have an email address. Too bad. So that's pretty cool. It's your mail application. Up next, we have our Safari application, and just look at the interface. We have this new way of sorting through the tabs, and really just check out the background of the tab interface. It's like a blur of the home screen background, just pretty cool. You also have private browsing. You can keep all, and then just create a new private tab. It doesn't trace your web history, it doesn't check any cookies and stuff. So you're gonna add a new tab, and you know it's private based on just the background of this, you know, the overlay of the web browsing. So we have our bookmarks on here. I'm gonna go ahead and browse through Apple. Let's click on that, and the web pages load pretty quickly. iPhone 5C, there you go. Browsing iPhone 5C on an iPhone 5C. That's pretty cool. And yeah, here is iOS 7, doing a video review of iOS 7, looking at this web page here. Another website that you guys really should check out is Tech Savvy Solution. .weebly.com. It's my Tech Byte webpage, and it's actually, if you guys are really interested in staying up to date with the latest in technology, but you guys don't want to read super long articles, you just want the gist, head over to my website, and I have a lot of neat stuff for you guys. A lot of stuff like video reviews that you can watch, or just, I mean, again, really short things, short articles, so you can have the gist. I did like the Nexus 4 versus Galaxy S3 a while ago. Not to, you know, it's shameless plug. So yeah, that is the web browser. You can also just add bookmarks, look at your bookmarks, and it's a really nice interface. Again, pinch to zoom is always so smooth on iOS. I love it. The physics engine is incredible. But so you have that, and then you can share your web page. Again, you look for this notorious icon. It's really something that's second nature now. You know, it's a share icon. You can add to a reading list, which saves things offline for when you don't have an internet connection. You can add it to home screen, so there you go. Just add it, and it'll take you to my webpage every time you click on it. It's really quite nice. And then you can copy it, you can print the web page, really nice. And again, great job with Apple for adding so many new features and changing the interface like that for iOS 7, and still managing to keep it simple and easy to use for everyone pretty much. So finally, we have the music application, which is probably something Apple is really known for, just making really good music playing devices. So the first thing is going to be iTunes Radio, which is kind of like a Pandora-like service, but for Apple devices, iOS devices. And you can create your new station. So let's just say I like electronic. And then you can just choose something like chill out electronic and take a listen to a sample of that. If you like what you hear, tap add. And then if you like that song, you can just go ahead and tap the upper right hand corner to buy it on the iTunes store. Tap on the icon, the I icon, and you can create a new station just based off the song or based off the artist, or share the track. Oops. And it's pretty cool. Next, we have just an assortment of your playlists. Pretty simple. Some like classical music, artists, It's not my entire music library. I don't know why I have Christmas songs on here. I think they were free or something. And then of course, composers and other ways to organize your music. So it's pretty standard, but also very easy to use. Very nice interface. Okay, last, finally, but not least, are the settings for iOS. So you can see it's in the pretty much about the same layout, but you have these new simple icons for each of the categories. And let's just go over, well, these are the individual settings for each application. But let's just go over general settings. I have a software update, which I really should do because I'm on 7.0, but I need to be in 7.0.2 because if you guys haven't heard, the new iOS 7 has a flaw which allows people to get past the passcode on if you have like a lock screen passcode on your phone. So you should update because the new update fixes that. You also have things for Siri. I should actually demonstrate Siri for you guys right now. New voice. Hi Siri. Hello.
Hi there.
Hey. Can you show me my calendar events for this Thursday?
You don't have any events on your calendar for Thursday.
Oh, I really don't, do I? Can you show me my calendar events for this week?
You don't have any events on your calendar for today.
Oh, I see. How about this? Can you take me to the App Store? And you can launch applications straight from Siri. Can you play me some music?
Playing iTunes.
So that's pretty cool. Call John Doe.
Which phone number for John Doe?
The home.
Calling John Doe. Home.
And I'm gonna end that conversation. Just in case it was a random person's phone number. Anyways, so Siri can just, it's really great. And you can see that the voice can be changed from female to male. Let's try the male Siri. Hi Siri.
Hi there.
Whoa. What's the weather like outside?
I don't know where you are, but you can help me find out.
Oh,
In
whoops.
privacy settings,
What's the weather like in Chicago?
looks like nice weather coming up in Chicago, Illinois between today and Friday, up to 73 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's pretty cool. What's 12 plus 9?
Checking my sources. The answer is 21.
Nice. Oh my gosh, he even has like a number line and different illustrations to show you. Just trying to, oh my gosh, that's pretty cool. I'm explaining how I did 12 plus 9, so you can see. So that's just a pretty cool look at Siri. Spotlight search, which is this. Just tap and hold down. Search iPhone. So search for, oops. Let's search for an application like news. Numbers. There we go. So it shows up numbers there. If I want to search through my email, news. All of my news here. So that's pretty cool. Let's go back to settings. And you have all your pretty standard stuff. I'd show you this before. brightness, auto brightness, turn on or off, privacy, and then all of your different settings for each of the different apps. Also, your notification settings, you can see, you can toggle what you want to show up. Do not include mail, or you can exclude each of these other ones. Let's say I don't want an application for that, or I don't want a notification for that. No. Or even how much or which applications show up on your lock screen, you can toggle. It's pretty awesome. Control center. Of course, I want full access on everywhere I am on the phone. And then do not disturb. You can even schedule it. Don't disturb me when I'm sleeping, pretty much. Okay, so that just about wraps up my review for iOS 7 on the new Apple iPhone 5C. And my conclusions with the new iOS 7 is it's definitely a step in the right direction for Apple. We have gone are all the shiny icons and such, and in is with these new flat icons and the minimalistic feel of the UI. We have this concept of translucency and things existing on planes. As you can see, the home screen background is in the background of this list of emails. And it's a really nice interaction. It's easy on the eyes and makes everything easy to use. Because in iOS 7, you have tons of new features packed in. And in order to access these features and make it seem like it's in an organized fashion, you would appreciate very much a minimalistic type of user interface. And that's what Apple brings to the table with iOS 7. So great job to them for combining both finesse and functionality in the same package. That being said, I hope you enjoyed this video review. It was pretty lengthy for demoing all of the applications. And if you did, please rate, comment, and subscribe. I am not just on YouTube, but on Facebook, Google+, Twitter, and of course my TechBite weblog, techsavvysolution.weebly.com, as you can see in the address bar above. So be sure to check that out, and I hope to see you guys next time on the next video review or tutorial. Thank you.